Well, welcome back, and as we promised, this is unique. This is a disc brake conversion kit on the Hilux, which normally has drums. Now, very excited to hear about this because it actually does improve the braking significantly. And then we're going to talk you further through because they've got the parabolic springs, the leaf springs, and then the suspension, the shock absorbers. So together with the parabolic leaf springs and the adjustable suspension and the brakes, we've really improved this vehicle. So tell us a bit about the brake conversion kit.
So the brake conversion kit is not just the rotors and the calipers that comes. It comes with a complete set of wheel bearings, everything, because you need to remove the side shafts to fit the kit. So it's a complete kit. You get everything that you need in there. You can see it is a slotted disc.
Yeah.
So it is also a high performance disc that you get with the kit. So on an empty vehicle, you don't necessarily going to feel so much difference, but it's once you start towing quite heavily and you're loading the vehicle. So with a vehicle loaded up to GVM, it's about a 36% increase in braking capability. So it's a truly
significant.
It's a significant change in braking.
And the brake pads, I mean, are these a standard brake pad or is it unique specific? Is this a pad I'd be able to get if I was stuck somewhere for brake pads?
It is a unique pad, unfortunately. So you'll have to
carry
take
spares.
you'll have to take some spares with you. But yeah, it's just a normal pad that you'll.
So it's important always when you are traveling, certain components on your car like this, the brake pads. I mean, you don't go through rear brake pads as much as you would the front, but certainly I'd be carrying a set of spares if you're going to be traveling far and remote.
No, for sure.
And then talk to us about the famous parabolic springs, these leaf springs. They are beautiful, they're lights, they just look great. There's 3 blades as opposed to a lot
seven
more blades,
or how many,
8.
So Terrain Tamer launched their range of parabolic leaf springs about 2 to 3 years back. So started with the 70 series Land Cruisers, and then moving over to your Hilux and so on. So it's an old technology, just we apply it now on the vehicle. So there's other suspension guys also doing it, but not as extensive as we are doing it at this stage. So the way that the leaf is manufactured, it's actually a tapered leaf, not just a one thickness leaf that you use, and
so
then
thick in the middle and it tapers out and thinner.
It tapers out. So that's not where you get the parabolic name of the leaf spring. It's the characteristics of the way that it flexes. That's parabolic. So you get it very soft when the vehicle is unloaded and you're driving, and when you actually want it to be comfortable. But as soon as you start loading it with weight, it actually takes the weight better than a full stack of.
Well, you've got the extra spring blades, and of course, I guess,
and a load bearing
rests
spring
again on the next blade, and it gives more strength. So it allows the weight to be taken on the extra blades below.
Yeah. So two of the blades actually touch each other permanently, and then you've got your load bearing leaf at the bottom. So as soon as you start loading it quite heavily, then only that leaf comes into play. So as we discussed previously, it's with only 2 leaves actually touching one another, and there's a big gap quite between the leaves. It actually only the ends where the little Teflon pad is where it touches. So all of that friction between the leaves are actually taken away. So it's much easier for the leaf to start moving, to flex, and it's also a much lighter design than your standard one. So it's a much lighter unsprung weight that needs to start moving before. So it's a much more comfortable ride quality than your standard leaf springs.
Listen, I think the weight saving is massive, and the comfort and the ride. And I guess you grade them in different grades depending on the loading. So you'd get a lighter set and a medium set and a heavy set. Am I right?
Yeah. So at this stage, we've got 2 different sets on most of the vehicles that we do these with. So we've got a 300 to 500 kilogram constant weight, and then a 500 to 700 kilogram constant weight. So we do have one where you actually have 3 blades that will touch each other, and then your load bearing one for guys doing overlanding vehicles permanently loaded quite heavily. And then also with your 70 series Land Cruisers, as soon as you move over to the Troopy and your double cabs, especially for overlanding and so on, but they're already heavier than your single cab vehicles. So there we suggest that you already go have a look at
The heavier duty.
the heavier duty
Yeah.
leaf springs.
Well, it does change the characteristics of how you drive this car, and I know from Parabolic springs, I did a lot of work on some of the early series vehicles in England. It's a unique spring in the comfort and design. So you need to go and drive it to feel the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the difference in the weight, and I can think certainly the fact that the blades don't touch each other, because the biggest problem with a lot of blades stuck together is that that whole lot's got to move, and of course the amount of friction between all the blades.
Yeah.
Now a lot of the manufacturers, good number of them, will put little Teflon pads to aid that.
Yeah.
But this reduces that massively. Now added to that, you've got your remote reservoir shock absorber.
Yeah.
And again, there's massive value because, as you've said, easy adjustment, which we really like.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a bit more about anything you can add to that.
So yeah, so you can see this one is a piggyback system. So in the front we've got you'll mount it somewhere separately.
Yes.
This one we've got a high quality aluminium bracket that we have. So it's a piggyback system, and then we also have the stone guard
Yes,
to
I like
protect
that.
the shaft of the
Yeah.
shock absorber, because as soon as you get a stone that makes a little mark in there and it goes through the seal, then you damage the seal and all the
Yes.
oil
Yes.
will come out. So
So it's really important to make sure that your stone guards are in place.
Yeah.
And I guess that would be an item you would carry if you needed to replace it. You'd be able to buy those
Yeah.
and the service kits.
with the service kit. So, but yeah, just the ease of adjusting it. As soon
Hands
as you
down.
air down your tire, or if you inflate it again or whatever, it's just reaching by, twisting the knob, and you can set it. It's not a big thing lying on your back, adjusting a bunch of things.
I think that for me is hands down one of the key features that I really like about the system. You know, coupled with the brakes, and of course safety for me is a very, very high priority, and it's my highest priority. So when I can improve a vehicle, and always I look at brakes as being number one change we're going to do first on the vehicle. It's not negotiable for me. So this really makes a lot of sense. The suspension, yeah, that's going to improve the ride. Be nice to see how it works in the conditions I have to drive one. And then, of course, the shock absorber with the adjustment. And I've spoken about this before. People fit shock absorbers and they don't use the capabilities of the shock absorbers. So, really good to be able to do this. And great, lovely kit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So here I'm holding one of our smart coils. So this is the coils that we produce for a lot of the vehicles for the front suspension, and you can see that the wire diameter actually differs as it moves down into the coil to make it a truly progressive coil.